Yay, the kids are finally asleep.
So do you feel like...
Playing a game?
I've got a feeling a boss fight's coming up.
Ooh, I just got wrecked.
Headshot, baby.
Ooh, it's your turn to get the baby.
So are you up to the challenge?
Run, 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 run.
And we're dead.
That's when I realized I have no idea what I'm doing.
GG. Welcome back to another episode of the Gamer Parents Podcast.
Wait, what? Gamer Parents Podcast?
That's right. So we, you may have noticed, we dropped the KJ After Dark before the Gamer Parents Podcast. Now we are just simply the Gamer Parents Podcast.
Yes.
Rolls off the tongue a little bit easier, not quite as long. Plus, I was getting kind of tired of explaining to people that there's nothing inappropriate about the subject of our podcast episodes. That it is simply, it was always just, that we record everything very late at night, and everything we do, all of our gaming pretty much happens after the kids are asleep, very late in the day, and that's kind of why we went with the after dark portion.
Yeah.
But it kind of also leads people to a different assumption that wasn't true. So just to avoid that, we made a change to the name.
Yep. And now it's just Gamer Parents Podcast.
Yes, and of course all of the changes that come along with that in terms of social media handles and the actual podcast name, the RSS feed and everything else. But for the most part, I think that's going to go pretty well.
Yeah, we just have to change the logo next.
That's going to be the fun part, I think, coming up with something that we like for that.
Yes.
But now that we explained that part of this, I want to hear, how was your week, Joanne?
My week's been going by like in a haze. I mean, it started off great with you getting me a new Switch.
Yes. Yay. Yahoo.
Yay.
Wahoo.
Yes. A new Switch for my birthday this month. It's an early birthday gift, and I've been enjoying it. We've been playing.
We've both been playing it, by the way. I may have been playing it a little bit more than her.
But even Dylan and I have been playing a lot on it for Mario Kart.
He likes Mario Kart. Every time he's like, I want to play the Mario game.
Definitely. It is a fun game.
I don't think you ever played like what I'm thinking of is like Mario Kart 64.
No, I've never played it.
You never played any Mario Kart before this?
No.
Okay, and this is Mario Kart 8.
Yes.
By the way, but they've been around for a long time, and it was definitely a staple of the N64 series and the games that I played a lot of back then. So, and it feels the same, but just like way more tuned and like upgraded, and the physics are obviously a lot better, the graphics are obviously a lot better, but everything else kind of feels the same. There's obviously a lot more levels too and everything, but it kind of really reminds me of the old one too, which I think is a good thing.
Yes, I agree.
What else have we been playing on the Switch?
Zelda Breath of the Wild.
Yes, which I've always heard was a must-play on Switch. So that was obviously one of the reasons we got that game. Plus, there's a few Zelda games in the past that I really liked Ocarina of Time, which I played through at least 2 or 3 times, although it's obviously been a long time. And then also Majora's Mask, which I don't remember if I ever finished it. I don't think it was as enjoyable to me as Ocarina of Time, but hey, it was still a decently fun game for me. And then obviously any kind of Super Smash games, I always loved playing Link. So I'm always down to play Link some more in any Zelda games.
Yeah, and I get to play the fun part, which was like mostly the tutorial and the early part where everything was easy to kill and stuff. And now Kevin's doing more of the harder part, and I'm doing more Mario Kart with Dylan.
Yeah, I mean, in everything so far, we've only done the Switch in the handheld mode, but I would love to hook it up to the TV and play on the big screen. That would be cool too. I think both of those games would still look really good.
Oh yeah, I can't wait to see it bigger. Yeah, you're right.
That would be kind of cool. That's the next step. We also got Mario Party on the Switch, which I loved Mario Party growing up. That was one of the Mario games, like between like that and Mario Kart, where like if you had friends over, like those were the games we'd usually like hop to, and Mario Party was always like a ton of fun. But so I want to show you that, Joanne, hopefully sometime soon. I think obviously that one will kind of be better when we get some additional controllers, and if we have either my parents or some friends over or something to play with.
Yeah.
That would be a fun one also. So looking forward to that. And those are the only 3 games that we got: Mario Kart, Zelda, and Mario Party.
Yes.
So we're new to the Switch. We've had it for
a week.
Like barely a week.
Yeah, barely.
Yeah, and so we only have a few games. If anyone listening has some really good Switch games that they recommend that we try, definitely let us know. Put a note in the Discord if you're in the Discord. If not, you should be in the Discord. And if you're listening on YouTube, you can put it in as a comment. Let us know what we should be playing on Switch.
Yes, please.
I was kind of thinking Pikmin 3 because I really like the first 2 Pikmin games, and it's been a while since I've gotten to play one of those games. And what else was there? Metroid Dread?
Yes, that was one
I think we heard was a good one.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's more. There's got to be more.
Yes, Overwatch 2.
Oh yeah, Overwatch 2 is now out on Switch. That's another good one.
Yeah, and what else? I think someone also recommended Kirby.
You mean Jigglypuff?
No, Kirby and the Forgotten Land, as well as Skyrim.
I didn't know you could play Skyrim on Switch, but
oh yeah, I saw it. It was like there when we.
Was that one of the yeah? Okay.
Yeah, it was one of the games there.
Interesting. I feel like just having the Switch and just having like the handheld accessibility of it kind of opens up like the games that I could be playing, like because I could play it handheld.
Yeah, it's still my gift though, but
that's true. Don't let me forget that, because I tend to forget that.
Yeah, definitely it's easier now that I have a handheld console to play with while doing chores at home. It's easier than sitting at the computer.
Or for me, it's even like, like we don't want to be in the game room, but like we just want to be, laying in bed or something, right?
Yeah.
You can have it on there, and like we can even like lay it on the bed and do the tabletop mode.
That's true.
And play games together that way too. Like if we want to be lazy and stay in bed longer.
Yes.
Obviously, the mornings, that doesn't really work that well because our kids are awake.
Yeah. On a much more unfortunate note, our son had an accident earlier this week, and
I guess go ahead and explain what happened. But
yeah,
yes, he got an injury,
which seems pretty deep. I mean, like he fell from the table onto the corner of the chair.
Ooh.
I don't even know how that's possible. Kids, they get into like the weirdest accidents that like you can't even imagine would happen, It happens like in a split second. Like, how did someone fall off a table? Like just sitting there and then suddenly lean forward and just fall off 90 degrees right into the chair. And like it's
just also to explain, I'm sure most people are probably thinking like a full-size dining room table or kitchen table and normal sized adult sitting chairs, but it's not really the case. It's a coffee table, which is pretty low. I mean, coffee tables are pretty low,
like 1.5 feet off the ground, maybe. Like
not
so even that tall. Maybe
something
2
like
feet.
that.
Yeah.
And then the chair that he fell on was like a kid's chair, so that's also not that tall. Maybe just a little bit taller than the coffee table. And he wasn't standing on the table, because we would not stand for that. He was sitting on the table and somehow slipped or slid off, and his head went into the chair, like the back of the chair, the part that's sticking up, and hit right where his eyebrow is.
Yeah, and it was a big cut. Blood was coming out. Yeah, it was just a lot going on, and we had to take him to the urgent care because it was a Sunday when it happened. And
it was like Sunday afternoon or sometime.
Yeah, almost evening, I think.
But yeah, especially with it being that close to his eye, kind of worried us. But and the obviously he was bleeding, so took him to see the doctor. Thankfully, didn't have to get any stitches. Just used some skin glue, and obviously he definitely wasn't enjoying all of that. The doctor having to put the glue on and kind of squeeze his his cut a little bit. So Dylan was not. He did good though. He was tough. He was a tough boy.
Yeah, it was. But it was rough on us. Like,
yes, I mean, traumatizing for him and a little bit traumatizing for us too at the same time.
Yeah.
It's hard to see your kid get hurt like that. It's probably the first time that he's had, more than a, scratch or something.
Yeah, more than a bruise even. But
yeah,
this was
something
major.
that needed like immediate attention at least.
Yeah, I was worried about him having concussion or losing his eye. I mean, there was just so many things running through my head when that happened. And I guess even after that, I was, just guilt-ridden and just thinking, what if? And yeah, the whole week went by like in a haze after that because it was just, focusing on trying to calm ourselves down from being shaken. I know it sounds dramatic, but if you have your kids, you understand that.
Yeah, I don't think anyone wants to see like that happen to their kids. And I think it's just something like, kids get hurt, and I think we try to protect them as much as we can, but at some point, something's going to happen. They're going to fall, and we're not going to be close enough or quick enough to catch them or something like that. And I think throughout the week, I told the story to like 3 different people, and all 3 of them either had something similar happen to them or to their kids, and they kind of told their version of the story, where pretty much an injury just like that kind of happened to somebody else. So I mean, I know it's not just us. People get hurt, especially kids. They're not as careful. But we just still, that doesn't, make it any easier to see or happen.
And I think it's because it's our first time that this happened to him. So it's definitely more
I don't think that like gets easier necessarily. Like if anything happened to Faith, I'm gonna be like, oh, he's gonna be fine. Dylan had this happen to him too.
Maybe. Yeah.
Like it's still gonna be like, oh shoot, we gotta do something.
I know. I was
like, take her somewhere.
having nightmares about it. Like I would imagine him crying at night, or I'll check on him and stuff like that. It was hard to sleep, and everything was just going by so fast and slow at the same time this week. So yeah, that was a rough part. It started out great with the Switch, and then it became
that actually happened the same day we got the Switch too. Like we didn't even get home with it all yet.
Oh yeah, you're right. That's
so I was like super excited about the Switch, and then that happened, and it was like I totally forgot about the Switch.
Yeah,
we just kind of went into like dad mode, taking care of Dylan.
Yeah.
But he got ice cream afterwards, and so he was fine. Like literally 5 minutes after it happened, like we were, heading out to urgent care, which is just right down the street, and then we were there for maybe 20 minutes. And after that visit, like he got some ice cream and he was fine. Like it was maybe 30 minutes after, his accident happened. Like he was happy 4-year-old again.
Yep.
So, I mean, overall, it was all happened, like, it was all pretty quick. Like, the accident itself, plus getting him kind of fixed up. And then now he's just healing. We gotta just let him heal.
Yeah. And what about you?
Well, before we jump over to me, were you gaming at all this week?
Oh, yeah. No, just on the Switch. Well, we did play that new game. What was it called?
New game for us, Minecraft Dungeons.
We did stream that, but I think we played it one more time after that. I guess so, yeah. So we haven't played much of it because obviously we're like winded kid and also trying to catch up on some rest ourselves.
Yeah, I feel like there hasn't been nearly like as many later nights.
Yeah.
Right? Like
I mean, like the incident was so like it got us shaken that like we needed like a rest, an early night's rest on Monday,
Yeah, I mean, I remember thinking that first night at least that he may wake up in pain, or he hit pretty hard, so I kind of expecting like his head to bruise, and not knowing if we would get a full night's sleep, with everything going on with him. So kind of taking advantage of being able to get a little bit of extra rest because of that. So, but yeah, So Minecraft Dungeons, obviously for you, the Switch.
The Zelda game, and Mario Kart, but that's about it.
That sounds about right. I think it's less than average for sure, but we got a few evenings in and a little bit of gaming in there throughout the day.
Yep.
For me, myself, obviously the Switch and everything that went on with Dylan, we kind of shared all that. I don't think I had anything life-wise outside of that. It was another week of mostly working from home, which is, I think, my third week of this, second or third, and very much enjoying it. Definitely feeling the impact of it. Being able to work from home 3 days a week.
Yeah,
that has been fantastic.
Yeah,
for me, I mean, I definitely notice it's a lot less stress not having to be on the road so much.
And I just love your company at home here, so
that too. Yes.
I'm actually glad we got the Switch last week, because with less gaming at night, it definitely gives us that fix of gaming.
Otherwise you'd feel like, oh, you hardly gamed at all this week.
Exactly.
Then,
yeah.
At least this way now, like you can, game some with Dylan or something, and then you still kind of feel like you get that fixed a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now for me, for gaming, obviously some of it's the same as you, Minecraft Dungeons together. We did that a couple nights this last week. A little bit of Hearthstone, not a ton, just enough to like do my daily and weekly quests. And then like after I get those done, I'm like, I'll wait for more quests to come in. Like I'm not gonna play if I'm not getting gold out of it.
Yep.
And then what else have I been playing? Oh, obviously the same games on Switch, a little bit of Mario Kart. I think I've done a little bit more Zelda than you have.
Yeah.
As you were kind of leading on to. And I'm liking it. One part that I'm a little bit embarrassed to admit, like at the very beginning of the game, like in the place where you basically wake up in, there are like 2 chests in there, like in that base, almost like that same room that you're supposed to open, because it gives you like your starting shirt and like starting pants. That just gives you a little bit of armor.
Yeah.
And I, for some reason, I'm gonna blame the small Switch screen. I ran right past those chests and didn't even open them or collect the armor. So we're basically running around
naked.
With
no armor.
Grand Plateau, like whatever starting area, like basically naked, like with no armor on, like dying in like one hit to everything. And I'm like, why does everything hit so hard? Like when are we gonna find some armor? And then like I eventually Google it because it's getting like out of hand. Yeah. And then it's like, oh, there's these chests that I was supposed to open way back in the beginning that's supposed to help with all of this. So I had to go back and like pick those up. And that's helping, but I feel like it's still like a little difficult. I don't know. It could just be also we're not really that used to the Switch, so I'm kind of getting used to the controls. Like, that I have to get used to. Like, I'm just used to like, obviously mouse and keyboard or PlayStation controllers. What else? I mentioned last week Spider-Heck.
Yeah, and I was going to ask you.
I have played more Spider-Heck since then, and I have a much different view of it this time. I know last week it was just kind of explaining a little bit about the different weapons that you get and a little bit about the playstyle, but I'm liking it a lot more. I'm starting to really get the hang of the movement. Now in the game, Spider-Heck, you're a spider. Just to kind of briefly explain it, you're a spider. It's a platformer, so it's 2D, and you can pick up weapons that consist of, some are like different lightsabers that you can like swing around, and then some are like other weapons or guns that you can shoot, like there's grenades, there's shotguns, there's weird laser pistols, and all kinds of different guns. And you can jump, and then when you double jump, you basically shoot a web that you can like attach to things and like swing around on, like your Spider-Man. And you can get really crazy and creative, like with the movement. You can like swing around the different platforms and like, fly at your enemy like from different angles, if you're, and like at different speeds, because like you'll be like coming in, maybe you're dropping down and like you attach to like a platform and you swing around it really quick and like try to come from behind somebody really quick or catch them off guard, or just have a hard time making them have a hard time locking onto you or something. But it just gets really fun, the different things you can do like with the web specifically, and the weapons are pretty cool. They're well designed also. and a spider with a lightsaber. Like, come on, if you're a Star Wars fan or anything and you like lightsabers and you want to see like an epic lightsaber duel, like that is the game to play. It's fun. But that's it for gaming for me. Just I guess a little bit more than you this week, but not a ton. It's been a busy week on the life side, which is okay.
Yeah, it happens as parents, you know.
Yeah. Next on the list, however, I have a couple of, I guess, topics. CD Projekt Red came out with some news. They are working on a new set of Witcher games.
I can't wait. I love Witcher games.
Hearing it'll be 3 more Witcher games, and all 3 of these, they say, will be out in a 6-year span. So I think that means within the next 6 years. That'll be 3 new Witcher games.
One every couple years?
Ish, yeah, maybe? 1 every 2 years or so. I don't know how they're going to stagger those out, which means we have to get through those Witcher games at a pretty decent pace if we want to be able to try them all. And they're also saying that one of those is going to be a multiplayer game.
Okay.
So a multiplayer Witcher, which I think is cool. I mean, obviously, if they're adding more that you can do in the game, you know, by playing with other people, that's great. I love that.
So wait, one of it would be playing as Geralt, and then
I don't think Geralt's going to be in it anymore.
Gotcha.
I think it's still the Witcher world, the Witcher universe. You know, there's still going to be Witchers.
No.
But I think it's just going to kind of move on to different characters. That's my take. I think that's what they've said on it. That's what I've heard. What concerns me a little bit, though, is since they're adding the multiplayer, I really hope they can get it right. I feel like there's some other games that these developers have found that perfect recipe for like single player games, right? And they do them really well. Like, for example, I think some of the Fallout games were really good single player experiences. And then with Fallout 76, they kind of, it's going to be multiplayer, you know, and all this stuff. And it was just, the PvP was really bad, and the, you know, connectivity, and there was just like a lot of issues with that game. And I feel like it was better left alone as like a single player experience. And when I think of Witcher 3, I think of a great single player game, and I hope they get it right with adding multiplayer to it. I mean, I guess time will tell. We'll see. And I don't know how they're gonna, if it's still gonna be like a story driven game, but like you can just play with your friends, or if it's like open world, like MMO.
Hopefully not.
Kind of game. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. We'll see. I fingers crossed they do a good job with it. They're also going to be doing a sequel to Cyberpunk, which I don't know when it's going to be coming out, but hopefully we finish the first Cyberpunk by then. It's one that I'm kind of like slowly like plugging away at, and maybe play it like once or twice a month.
Yeah.
Because that's pretty much the only thing that I'm playing on the PS4 right now.
Yeah.
Which is like usually only like during the day. Like I don't want to be out there at night, like when the kids are asleep playing that. And I also don't usually like playing it in front of the kids too, because it's kind of a little more of a violent game.
Yeah.
So I just don't really have a lot of time in my life right now to be playing that one. And then CD Projekt Red also announced a new IP that they are also working on that is neither Cyberpunk or Witcher, so something entirely different that I haven't really come out with yet. So
interesting.
They're doing a lot right now. Yep.
Okay.
So Joanne, do you want to run us through Game Pass games?
Sure. This week on Game Pass, Chivalry 2 on console, PC, and cloud, Medieval Dynasty on Xbox Series X and Series S, The Walking Dead, the complete first season on PC, and I actually saw that already, and The Walking Dead Season 2 also on PC.
Yes, so those games I want to play. The Walking Dead ones, those are by Telltale Games. I've heard a lot. Yeah, we both heard a lot of good things about that.
And I'm so happy it's on Game Pass.
And I think it's made by the same developer as that Wolf Among Us game that you played not very long ago.
Yeah. Telltale, yes.
Telltale Games. So, and this is the full seasons on Game Pass that's coming out. So I know with Wolf Among Us, you weren't able to play that much of it because it was kind of locked behind a paywall. So, but I've heard these are even better, and it's Walking Dead. So I really like the whole Walking Dead universe and stuff. But I know it's not necessarily like an action game because it's like kind of like a choices thing too. And I think there's some like action prompts and stuff, but I don't think it's not action heavy, obviously. Maybe we try those out sometime.
I know. That's what I was thinking.
We're going to do that. We're going to have to do that. I don't know what season's better, 1 or 2. Maybe we just have to do them both.
Yeah.
But that's definitely going to be on our list from now on. Next, in new game releases, we have Dakar Desert Rally on all consoles and PC. Overwatch 2, on all consoles and PC. Deathverse Let It Die on PC. Medieval Dynasty on Xbox Series X and S. Nier Automata on Switch. Townscaper on Quest. And No Man's Sky on Switch. This is the first time I've seen something released on Quest in a while. Like a long while. I actually just noticed that. But anyways, so not too many new game releases this week, but we do have some interesting ones. I did look up Dakar Desert Rally, and it just kind of looked like Desert Rally Racer. I don't think it even looked like as nice as Forza Horizon. And I didn't really get to see like too many like different looking vehicles or anything like that. It looked a little bit more boring to me than some of the other racing games that we've seen and played. Obviously, Overwatch 2 was probably the biggest name on this list.
Yeah.
Coming out today. That's definitely a lot of people have been waiting for. I don't think you've ever played Overwatch, right?
No, I've never.
Yeah, I know we have it on the PlayStation, and I've played it a little bit. It was kind of one of those games where like I thought I would love it because I used to really like MOBAs, Dota, Heroes of New Earth, Dota, Han, League of Legends, and games like that where it's kind of like a 5v5 and you pick your character that has certain abilities and everything. And I also like first person shooters, so I felt like Overwatch was kind of like one of the first games that felt like a combination of the two. And then I played Overwatch and just got stomped and did not like that part of it and just kind of never went back. Even though I think if I did go back to it and like gave it a real solid try and actually got somewhat decent at it, I would probably like the game. But Overwatch 2 now is supposed to be free to play, and I think it'll be fun. We might try that at some point. We'll see, especially if we have some friends who play it. That would be fun. Then Deathverse Let It Die. I did look at the trailer for that one. It looked interesting. It really reminded me of like Hunger Games style, where it's just like drops you like in this arena, and you run around with your weapon and you try and like
survive,
kill other people and be the last one to survive. And as time goes on, the zone gets smaller, right? Like it gets part of the zone gets like locked away. It's just basically forcing whoever's left into a smaller, cage match, if you will. So you're basically forced to fight each other that way. So it looked okay. It didn't look interesting enough for me to want to try, but it looked kind of cool. It was worth watching a 5-minute video on it. But that's about it for me. And then No Man's Sky coming to Switch. No Man's Sky was a game that we played a few weeks ago, a month ago, maybe 2. Obviously, we were playing it on PC.
Yeah.
And now it's out on Switch. And we just bought a Switch. Coincidence?
I think not.
Yeah, I don't know. We might have to play it on Switch. I think that would be a fun game to play on Switch.
Yeah.
Just because it's a game that's like, it's kind of slow. So it's like, it kind of makes up because of the handheld accessibility of the Switch. And also, I think if you play like on the single player mode, which I think the Switch is, then you can always just like pause it and, set it down and then go back to it and kind of keep moving,
I agree.
I might try it. We'll see. I know Switch can sometimes be a little limited on space. So we'll see. I don't know how big of a game No Man's Sky is, but I would imagine it's a pretty big game. But that's it for new game releases. Joanne, did we have anything else for today?
I don't think so, except announcing all our new
social
media handles.
Listen up, because pretty much all of our social media has changed. So you can no longer find us at all the same places. If you were already following us or subscribed, I don't think that should change anything. It's just if you haven't, tisk tisk. And you can find us on YouTube, where we do our stream every Tuesday night at 9:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. Last week we streamed Minecraft Dungeons. This upcoming Tuesday we're also going to stream Minecraft Dungeons again, getting a little bit further in that game. So you can find us on YouTube at Gamer Parents Podcast, the channel over there. You can also catch us on Twitter at twitter.com/gamerparentspod, or on Instagram. You want to take it away?
Yep, at gamer_parents_podcast.
Yes, give us a like, a follow, a subscribe, whatever it is, wherever it is. Yeah. The best place to follow along with what we're doing and hang out with us, so to speak, would be on the Discord channel, which you could find in the link of the podcast description, as well as in the description of the video if you're watching on YouTube. But do drop in, say hi, send us a note. Let us know what Switch games we need to be playing right now. But that's all that we have for you guys this time. See you in the next one.
Bye.